Did-
Hmm.
Oh, yep. There we go. Okay. So you can see some of my people as we're talking about, back to basics and family and mission statements and values. Like these are my people. These are my kiddos 12 years ago. So they're a lot bigger now, but these might be some of the ages and stages that some of your kids are at. My oldest was 7 here, and our next daughter is 5, and Lauren is 3 here, and then we had a 2-month-old. So I've been where you've been. I know the long nights and just the fact that you're showing up here and wanting to grow and learn and be intentional in your parenting, I think is just awesome. So great job with that. I want to show you this picture of my family. I don't know how this tradition started, but the kids just thought it was this great idea on Christmas morning to throw up all the wrapping paper when they open their presents. And here's one from 12 years ago. Here's one from just a few weeks ago. And my kids had to remind me to take the picture. So it's funny what they hold on to and they really value. And I think as you're kind of sorting through these words and your mission statement and values, know that things may grow over time. Things may stay the same, but you might be adding things. You might find that you really want to focus or dive deeper into one of your values, and that's okay too. And if you look to the right of the mantle, we've changed the paint color over the years and kind of shifted some arrangement of furniture and our family values. We've got a big poster up on our mantle that I'll show you later. And that's a reminder. We've had that up for about 8 years. It's just a reminder of like, what's our due north? Where do we want to always head back to, like regardless of what the day holds, or kind of this is what we're about, this is what we want to focus on a daily basis and have that reminder. So this is what my family kind of more looks like now. So now my son is almost 20, out of the house, a sophomore at Oregon State. And my daughter, she's almost 18 and going to be graduating. And she's got adventurous spirit and, wants to look overseas possibly for school or an abroad program. And my other daughter is a freshman and my youngest is 12 and a 6th grader. So, and in my bio, I shared a little bit about some of our family health struggles. So if you're a parent with kids with developmental delays or health challenges, I am in your corner cheering you on. So know that I'm happy to be a resource if you need someone to talk to. I've got lots of toolboxes in that arena. So can you guys still see this? Okay, I can't see your faces, so I'm just going to assume.
No, we can see you now, not your slideshow.
So you can't see the slideshow? Oh, shoot.
We could earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Maybe I hit a wrong button. Okay, we'll try this again. Here we go. Okay, now can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. I love technical difficulties. So did you see the picture of my kids now?
No.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's my family now. And they bring great joy. And even though teenagers, there's challenging parts of teenagers, it really is a fun season to watch them grow and become, a lot of the characteristics that they had as younger kids, they have as they grow older, and they can be really great strengths. So I love Post-it notes, and this is actually a Post-it note from 15 years ago. No joke, I still have it. And it came out of a time when I was complaining to a friend, just being honest, about my oldest, and he was pushing my buttons like to the limits. He was either 100 or 0. It was like no in between, and I'm tired. I've got littles and to keep up with him. And she said to me, Jamie, he's focused, he's driven, he's specialized. He really, like, when he goes to a task, he wants to complete it. And those will be great skills as an adult. Think about that. And it was like a light bulb, went off. I think mom brain and lack of sleep, but I was just like, oh, I need to be thinking about that. I need to be speaking those words over him, focused, driven, like, and remind him those are great skill sets. And I put that on my cupboard that I opened every day. So I would remember to be speaking those words over him and helping direct some of that, which can be challenging. But now that he's 20, almost 20, I could say, like, these are great. As a young man, this is helping him be successful in school, and focusing on a career choice, and great skills that sometimes are hard to parent when they're younger. So I just wanted to remind you of our words and how we speak life over our kids can be really impactful. And I think he would even use some of these words to describe himself if you asked him. So we know that words have power, and you've been going back to basics, which I love that, as if this is not a year to go back to basics and see what you can do to cultivate and be intentional in your parenting, and even when you're exhausted. But how can you have time and space? There's a little more time and space, a little more margin to look at some of these bigger concepts and issues. So with your words choices, before we kind of launch into mission and values, I just want to share a little experiment that IKEA did with you, with some students. And maybe you've seen this before, but IKEA took two plants, and they had the same water, and they had the same light, and they had the same soil, and they just had kids speak positive words over one and negative words over another. And you can see the results. One plant flourished and one plant really struggled. And I think as moms in this season, you can't hear enough. You're doing a good job. You're an amazing mom. And I really want to pause and just reiterate, you're doing a great job, and your kids are so fortunate to have you as their mom. So I'm going to maybe stress you a little bit, make you uncomfortable, but we're going to go into breakout rooms and in just little small groups. And I want you to share with these moms, I'm a great mom because, and fill in the blank. And I want you to say it 3 different times. And this is just to help with our mindset. Some of you might be coming in exhausted and thinking, I get a big F for the day. In my parenting, I need the time out on the stairs. Can we restart today? And some of you might be the gold star. You're like, yeah, this is a great day. But I think that will just help posture our hearts and our minds to kind of talk more about those powerful words if we are speaking life about ourselves. And if you have extra time after you share it 3 times. So again, for some people, it's really hard to say positive things about yourself, but I would stretch you and have you do it. So everyone in the group, make sure everybody does it 3 times. And if you have a little extra time, maybe you speak some positive words over each other about what you notice about them as moms. So Jamie is going to help me put you into breakout rooms. And if you haven't been in a breakout room before, they'll up on your screen will pop up, join breakout room 1 or 2 or 3. And, you just click on that and then you'll be in the group. So we'll have a few minutes in the group and then we'll bring you back.
All right, I think I have them open.
Jamie, can I ask you a question really quick?
Yes.
So do you want us to say a specific reason that we're a great mom?
So that I left it open
Okay.
for just kind of, I'm a great mom because, but be specific in a tangible,
Okay.
like, how are you a great mom?
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
And then Jamie, will you be mindful of the time?
Yep, 5 minutes-ish.
Okay. Yes, perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Mm. Right. Hi, Caitlin. Can you hear me, Caitlin?
Are we all back? Okay. So how was that? I know Katie said, thank you for pushing us out of our comfort zone. And I think as moms, like honestly, that might be the biggest message that I of the whole night is just like, you're doing a great job. And this is some crazy times and you're doing amazing. So if you need, post-it notes to remind yourself, like literally put them on your bathroom window or mirror, in your cupboards, someplace that you see every day to just even remind yourself to speak that out. Like, I'm doing a great job. Because sometimes our littles, they can't tell us, right? In fact, sometimes you think they're telling us, you stink and I'm mad at you, or I don't like you right now. So just know that you really are doing a great job. And this heavy lifting and the consistency that you're pouring into day in, day out, you will reap the benefits. There will be great things to come. So just a reminder for that. So now it's kind of transitioning. Hopefully our headspace and our heart space is a little filled up so that we can talk a little bit more about mission and values. And, for my husband and I, we have a marriage mission statement. So we don't call it a family mission statement, but it's similar because our offspring come from us. So, and we have marriage mission or marriage values, and then we also have family values. And so I'm going to spend most of my time talking about family values. But the first time I heard about a mission statement was in college when the vice president of student life, I had a job study in their office, and she was new, and she came up to me and invited me into her office, and she's like, hey, Jamie, I feel like I've come to this college to raise up leaders, and I'd like to meet with you on a weekly basis. And I'm like, wow, okay. And she said, and I want to talk to you about a mission statement, having a personal mission statement. And I'm like, who am I to like I'm like 20. What do I need a mission statement for? But the practice of doing that was really insightful to think of what do I value? What are some of my gifts? What do I want to be about as I continue to grow? And, met my husband, and on our, kind of naively, when he proposed, there was like 8 things we had done that day that when he asked me to marry him was significant to how he saw our future playing out. So actually those things became our marriage values, which I've kind of cultivated and blossomed over time, different, maybe a little bit different verbiage, but it's still it's kind of crazy how that works. And then we start having kids. And before we had kids, we saw this family that had 8 kids, and they're biological, and we got to spend a couple of weeks with them serving at a camp in Canada, and I was blown away. I'm like, I've babysat and nannied a little bit. I'm a teacher, and I had never seen kids treat each other, siblings treat each other the way that they did, parents talking to the kids the way they did, kids talking to the parents the way they did. It was like lots of mental notes, even though I had no intentions of having kids at that point. But, a couple years down the road, we start having kids and we start reaching out to this couple. And we invited them down to Corvallis. At this point, we'd lived in Corvallis. So we had 3 kids, and I was coming out of, a time my daughter's cancer, I'm in survival mode, like thinking the end in mind. 18 was like, all I want to do is get through today. But just what you guys are doing right now, you're creating time and space. And I think that's such a gift, and you're doing it in community. And for us, I needed that community. I couldn't do it on my own. Like, I didn't have the mental capacity, the emotional capacity to think about, when my kids are 18, what do I want them to be about? It was like, can you just do what I say and eat your food and go to bed on time? So that was the reality. And so this couple just told us, what you need to do is brainstorm a list, write down as many things as you can think of what you want your kids to be about at 18. What things, do you want them walking out the door? What skill sets, what's values? And so we moved to Corvallis partially because our best friends, we wanted to raise our kids together, and we lived on the same street for a number of years. And I don't recommend that for everyone, but it was a good partnership for us. And so we sat downstairs. I still remember the night, and we just wrote out a list of all these things we wanted our kids to be about at 18. And we talked about integrity and work ethic and creativity and adventuring, having them willing to take risks, not be fearful, kind and compassionate, about family, like that they really valued and enjoyed being with family. We often say we want to like our kids, like when they leave, like we don't always love our kids, right? But you kind of want to like them as they get older. Like, I want to spend time with you, not like, no, please, just, and, trust me, there's many times over the years, I'm not sure how I feel. I need some space from you. But overall, I can say I genuinely enjoy being with my kids. We talked about gratitude and, celebrating, wanting to do fun things, inviting people into their lives and having hospitality. And so I'm just kind of, our list was so much longer, but I'm going to show you what's on our mantle real quick, and kind of how we structured our values, because as my best friend and I, we both have a teaching background. So we needed practicals, like, oh, this is great, we want to teach kindness, but what the heck? How do you do that with a 1 and a 3-year-old? And, hospitality, what does that look like for them? So I'm just going to share my screen real quick. So got that, and here we go. So this is what's on our mantle, and it might be a little blurry. I think I have a closer one, but we broke it up into months. So we picked 12 values that we could really do a deep dive each month, focusing on one value. So this is a little blurry, but so our first one was January. Gotta look at my time, make sure I'm doing okay. Was January, dream big, work hard. And we tried to choose language. So when we made these, our kids were 5, 3, and like 6 months or something like that. So in the thick of it. But dream big, work hard. What does that look like for a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old? Excuse me. And they might be learning to tie their shoe. Okay, so we would talk about, like, oh, you have to work hard. This is a skill that, we're so excited. Someday you're gonna be able to do this, and, repetition and maybe, on the playground, our kids always like to do the monkey bars, So the goal was, that once they got one way, then they wanted to go the one way and back. And we talked about, like, dreaming. You have to visualize you can do it. This is a great thing. So those were kind of like practicals of how we dream big and work hard. February, seek to be kind. So I forgot to mention, in all of these, we tag teamed, like my friend and I, and we'd go to the library, get books on these specific, working hard, find whether it's athletes or different trains or things that our kids were interested in. How does a train work? And what are the things that make it work? And seeking to be kind. That was a value that we didn't want our kids to just be kind. We wanted them to seek it out, look for opportunities to be kind, look for opportunities to be kind to their sibling, look for opportunities to be kind at preschool or with their cousins or grandparents. And we got books, and this will date me, but we burned like CDs for songs on kindness. And one of the dads got us a notebook, and we just shared ideas. And we had, for each month we had like anything we found, like any handout or magazine article or thing we could print out just for different ideas, so we could wash, rinse, repeat the next year. Because why, in business and sports, they don't say you don't need to do 1,000 things only 6 times. You need to do 6 things 1,000 times. And that's what that repetition, of those values, really comes to fruition, where you can see it lived out in your kiddos. So March is see the need, do the deed. And again, we wanted our kids to, we're at the park, they see trash on the ground. Oh, look, there's something that it's not our trash, but hey, there's a need. We should try to help. And we would, kind of encourage that. Or siblings, left their toys out and it's time to clean up. Oh, like, I know you didn't make the mess, but this is, we're going to see the need and do the deed. Why don't you help? So those were phrases that we kind of used over and over, just in our families. April was life's an adventure, go for it. And our friends, the dad would win trips for his job, and so they would travel during that month. And we had kids' birthdays in April, and so that was fun. And our finances were pretty tight from going from a 2 income to a 1 income when I stayed home with our third. And but something that we would do in April was when our kids became 6, they would, I'd take them just individually to Disneyland. So that was something like adventurous, and it was really a treat for me because I'm a quality time person and I like roller coasters. So, but practically we would look for, new recipes, maybe. We would look for new parks. We would go to new, like maybe if there's a new restaurant in town, or a trampoline park that we'd never been to. We tried to find new things and talk about it being an adventure. And again, books, cartoons, anything we could find that kind of fit into that realm, we would, kind of focus in on that in April. And then in May, choose growth. Perfect time if you like to garden, or just even, you can grow seeds in a plastic baggie, but just talking about growth and what happens to a seed, and even like how our bodies grow. That was another thing we'd focus on, like, how do our bodies grow? Oh, we need to put good things in it, eating our fruits and vegetables make us strong, and drinking water and exercising, and those help us grow. And as they get older and into puberty, you talk about how your bodies change and grow. But also that we want to keep choosing new things for, like, this was, springtime. So, bikes would start coming out, kids, learning to ride bikes, or, getting skateboards, or, we wanted them to try new things and to choose it, even though it was hard. So June, practice hospitality. We love having people into our home, and one of our marriage values is breaking bread, having meals around the table. And so that was really hard with a 1, 3, and 5-year-old, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I hated dinner time. Everybody melted down before dinner. And I just, so my husband and I had to adjust, and I went to once a month cooking. And so that was like, I hired a college student to help me so that meal times were better, so we could actually try to sit and have conversations around the meal, around the table. And so that took time and effort and planning, but it was happy wife, happy life, right? That saying. It just made our dinners times. And then I had the capacity to engage with kids and know that it was going to be messy, but if we would be intentionally inviting people to share a meal with us, college students particularly. So July, tell the truth. I think, you're obviously practicing that all the time, but it's just getting all the resources to just really dive deep into why do we tell the truth, and why is it important, and why do we keep telling the truth as we get older and it gets maybe harder and you can sneak things around or be gray. August was stand even if you stand alone. And this is my favorite value because having been a teacher and seeing kids get bullied or I got like goosebumps, but just we wanted our kids to stand up for the people that I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you don't need to see that the whole time. We wanted our kids to stand up for those that couldn't stand up for themselves. And even if it's a sibling, like if people weren't being nice, are you going to say something? Are you going to help them? And, that is such a powerful thing to witness when your kid does act on that, and to be able to speak life over them, to say like, that is great and you should keep doing that. And even when it's hard, because their decisions get harder, right? As peer pressure and, but to kind of really read books about it and, talking openly about you're going to be in situations, because they are. You're going to be in situations that are hard and you have to make hard choices. And are you going to stand up for someone? Are you going to reach out to the kid that no one's sitting at the lunch table with? And, really trying to instill that value. And October is God loves us and we love him back. And, that's a value for us. And or September, I'm sorry. And then October is family first. And we wanted to cultivate family. How does that look with a 1 and a 3-year-old? We might ask them to choose, well, what do you want for dinner? We value you in your opinion. And it might be like macaroni and cheese. And you're like, okay, well, that's what you want. Let's everybody get excited for, we're doing their favorite meal tonight. And we value you as in your opinion, or if it's picking a show, and your lives get busier as your kids' schedules get busier. Right now your days maybe are just packed, but then it turns into your nights being shuffling and driving kids around. And so just having extra time to focus on your family. And then November, be grateful, be thankful. It's a perfect month for gratitude. It's all around you. You got Thanksgiving, but we try to do cards and be intentional with writing things with our words. And, December is celebrate and remember. So it's a perfect month. We do traditions are a big thing in our household in December, and our kids remind us if we forget. So be careful what you decide you want your traditions to be, because you'll have to keep doing them. But again, these are just, I just fire hosed you with a lot of, I think practicals and hopefully things that you can take away. And some of you I know already have your mission statement or values locked in, and you're like, we got our words, we know what we want. And others are like, in the process and trying to think through what that looks like. So wherever you are in the process, it's good. So just know that. But I'm gonna put you into actually before breakout rooms. So I'm going to give you some time, because I just fire hose you, to be in silence and just write down some things that you either learned, or maybe some words that stood out to you. Maybe you need to just brain dump that list again of what do things I want my kid to be about at 18. So we're just going to give you a few minutes to just be in silence, so you can, all of you are muted, so I'll just mute myself. And then we'll come back and share in our breakout rooms. Oh, and also if you have questions, feel free to write those down too. If there's something that pops up that you want more clarity around or you want to talk through, because we'll have time for that at the end as well. Awesome. So you guys kind of wrap up and come back together. Again, that might be the only silence you have all day, right? Hey, I remember. Just be so it's good to be quiet. So anyway, we're gonna put you back into breakout rooms, and I just want you, to talk about, where you're at in the process with your mission statement, with your values. Share where you're at. Share maybe some of your ideas, and just be encouraged that whatever it looks like, it's good, and you're doing a great job. So that's kind of the main focus of your time together, and you'll have 10 minutes so feel free to ask each other questions too. And then we'll come back and we're going to have a little celebrating and some question asking.
All right. I'm opening up the rooms again. Hey, Katie. So good to see you.
A few more minutes, but I wanted to give an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you might have. And at the end, Jamie's going to help me with drawing some names. We got some fun prizes and giveaways because that's living out one of my values of celebrating. And if there's anything that I can tell you guys tonight, it's you're doing a great job. This is a unique time and you're amazing moms and you deserve to be celebrated. So with that, so if you have any questions or if you don't.
I have one.
Yeah.
Do you have any traditions that you guys wish you would have started like when they were around 5 or under? Family traditions?
Gosh, I love traditions. So ones that I wish we would have implemented. I don't know, like one that comes to mind that's kind of like a family one that we do is a Christmas box. And after Thanksgiving, we get out a box and, it's wrapped with a little slit in it. And throughout the month, you do kind things for each other and you just don't tell the person. So when the kids were little, we would help them, write on the little notes, oh, I picked up, sister's blanket and put it on her bed, or like, oh, I put dad's shoes away, or just little ways, because we again wanted to instill like giving a gift is sometimes our time or a act of service, and then it's the first gift we open on Christmas morning. So one of my favorite ones, so this is to say like testimony to like high school. So my oldest is a young man, so he's 19 now, but when his sister was in high school, they had this like candy cane thing. I don't know. It's like a candy cane gram or something. And you can send like a note with a candy cane on it. So he sent her one, but didn't sign it and just said something really nice. I don't even remember what he said. And so she could not figure out who it was. And then he wrote it in the box. The candy cane was from me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just, just the sweetest thing. Like that's what you want, sibling, like, sometimes they don't get along, but that was a win. So that's just a tradition that I like.
I have a question for you. Do you have any go-to resources or websites or anything like that for coming up with activities, especially as your kids get older?
Like activities around
or books or
values or books or that might be something I could maybe pass along to Jamie. Like it might take me a little bit to think about. So nothing comes to mind. I mean, honestly, Google, Pinterest, like tend to be a great resource. But as far as kids getting older, it depends on what they're into. And, we tried to like align some of our values with things they were excited about, whether it was sports, like we have some sports, we have people that are into music, or, like kind of finding books or music or, shows that kind of align with some of those interests.
I had a question. So as you guys are like, you do these family values every year, I'm sure there are times where like you just feel like your kids are not getting it and you're just kind of going crazy. Do you and your husband have ways that you guys kind of center yourselves and like focus in on, this actually is working. Our kids are great kids. To get yourselves over those little humps that come along?
Totally. And, I think, some days that might be me helping him, and some days that's him helping me. Or, just again, I think coming back to and reminding yourself, like, this is a season. Like sometimes your kids are in these seasons and you're like, will they ever stop with whatever it is? Like, will we, launch over this hump to where they're getting how to be kind or share with a sibling, or like practicing hospitality when a friend comes over, obviously COVID, but in the context of like, what does that look like? Oh, are we gonna let's share a really special toy with our friend that's coming over? Like that's a way to show hospitality, and it might blow up in your face, and the friend might be like, give me that, and you're like, I'm trying to be nice, and so you just have to know that there's going to be bumps in the journey. And I think for us, having a weekly date night over the years has really, and that's a time to play. Like we really try to not, we have another time during the week where we kind of like schedule and process and that kind of thing. But just to like, we sat at the Beanery. Date night was like $5. We used to sit at the Beanery and play Phase 10, and that was like, and have tea or go for a walk, and that was a win. So to kind of just get back and remind ourselves, hey, we're doing a great job, and keep on keeping on. Anything else? Okay. Oops. Oh, sorry. I think you need to unmute there.
Okay. So, like, I don't know if everybody's had this experience, but depending on your birth order, you get a different experience with your parents, right? Like your oldest one gets the best of who you are because it's only them and you can focus. And Maddie, my oldest, is 7, and she got that for exactly 24 months before, the new one took over a lot more of my attention and stuff like that. And so now I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old and an 8-month-old. And I'm wondering what advice you have for, in my mind, I was like, the 7 and a 5-year-old got so much of my, like, that family value list and like the training. Like I've been in 7 years of training with my oldest one, like how to be kind, how to share, how to love, how to help, like all these things. How do I reinvigorate my stamina with the newest one so that that child also gets a fair shot at being the best that he can become because he's coming late to the game?
Yeah. Well, first of all, just know, you still have an infant, and, you're getting sleep and all those things. And I think what you'll find is some of your older kids, because they've gotten that, they will help with the younger one. That's literally what's somewhat been passed down. Like the verbiage that you use with them, they'll be like helping him, and you might need more rest than you did with the 7-year-old. And that's okay to give yourself grace with that. And that seasons will change. Like, once our kids started playing sports, like we couldn't have meals around the table the way we'd always had. And so we had to shift and adjust. And sometimes my husband and I have literally had that conversation. We feel like our younger two got a totally different experience than what our older two got. And I think just recognizing that that's okay. And, you know, we didn't choose their birth order, but honestly, some of the skill sets, like our youngest, I never let my oldest like cook anything in the kitchen because it took time and I didn't have time, and it was faster for me to make it and give it to him. So like as a young adult, he's like, Mom, he's laying on the couch, Mom, will you make me like a sandwich? And then here's Jordan on the other hand, who's, you know, making his own sandwich. You know, you're like, did you have lunch? You made yourself lunch? Oh, wow. Okay. You know, just out of, you know, so they learn different skills. And honestly, that's served him well. You know, he's had to kind of do more things on his own. And I think there's value in that too. So that kind of answers a little bit of your question.
Yes, thank you. And what is sleep? Did you say the word sleep?
So there will be a day, you know, but you know, for now, whatever you could get, it's a win. If someone could figure out how to inject sleep into the human body, I think they'd make millions. So there's an idea for you. Okay.
Can I have a question too?
Oh yeah.
My son's 5 and he's talking so much, which is great, but it's hard to redirect him to go other places other than just right in front of my face. Do you have any suggestions on that? Especially if COVID, maybe, I don't know. I'm glad he's so verbal. But
So he just likes to get really close when he's talking to you. Is that what you're saying?
well, I mean, he's just talking like 100% of the day.
Oh. We had one of those, and like literally at night she would just be in her crib, in her bed, singing, talking, you know, for hours sometimes, and just, you know, and she still to this day is our most talker of the group. So just know that might be a lifelong thing. But I think with directing, you know, at home, like maybe tell, you know, does he have a favorite stuffed animal, or like something, oh, will you tell so-and-so like all about it, you know, like redirecting the focus, like that's so great, whatever he's talking about, like to kind of redirect it so that he shares his wealth with others, even if they're stuffed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, I think we're over, so we can go ahead and start doing some drawings. Yeah. Okay, so love to celebrate, and you guys took an hour of your time in the middle of your crazy week in quarantine to learn and grow and, you know, work on family values and think, you know, long term, and that takes energy. So and like some of you said, sleep is a commodity what you wish you had more of. So I just want to celebrate you. So our first prize, I love small businesses. My parents owned a small business for 25 years. So this season has been heartbreaking for me for that. And so we're going to do this to help support some small businesses too. But so the person that's draw is going to get a plant from my friend that's a florist. And she is still in business, which is a huge win. So, and with COVID, just know that it'll get delivered, and she's got all the sanitizing and stuff, but it'll look similar to this. And it's an oxygen producing plant. So it's great because we're indoors so much. And hopefully it will remind you to speak life over yourself and saying in the mirror, I'm a great mom every day. And speaking that life over your kids as well. So go ahead, Jamie.
All right. They're all in the protein jar. Oh, someone that had to jump off. Elizabeth Cunningham.
Yay, thank you so much.
Oh, good. Okay, so Jamie will get all your information and we'll work on that.
Yep.
So the next prize is our friends they have a small business and they write books, and maybe some of you have seen this before, but it's a marriage journal. And anyway, it's in the front, it has like a space for your marriage mission and family pillars and 1-year goals and 5-year goals, but for our marriage, we've been doing this weekly activity for 14 years. And it's just a good check-in, and it might not be for you. And so you can flip through it. And if it's not for you, gift it to someone who you think it might be something with. So this is for a marriage journal. And
Heidi Myers.
yay, Heidi. Awesome. And they just came out with their second book. It's called Creative Love. And, my husband and I are all about, the best gift we can give our kids is, a strong, healthy marriage. And so there's 10 chapters. And in the last chapter is all about family mission and values. And how to cultivate that and some of their ideas. So this is Creative Love. And so this will go to
Lindsay. Are you still on here, Lindsay?
Yay!
Yay, Lindsay. Okay.
I'm so excited.
So good. And then lastly, because who doesn't love a date night? And if you're a single mom, you deserve a meal, paid for. So, my husband and I would like Taco Board. They have an outdoor seating. But if there's a local restaurant that you would love to support, then I will get you a gift card from there so that you could have a date night and maybe talk through more of some of these mission and values and get some more ideas and things on paper. So that's our last thing to celebrate. So go ahead, Jamie.
Caitlin Chan.
Yay, that's exciting.
Yay. So you can just tell Jamie where you'd like to go.
Sounds good.
Yay. So again, it's an honor to be with you tonight. And, I'm a few steps ahead, but I'm in your corner. I'm cheering you on. Like, you will get more sleep. Your kids will work through some of those tough issues. And it does get fun. I really like my kids, and I enjoy spending time with them. Now, quarantine, sometimes I need space from them, but I think, it's a gift to watch them, now venturing out. So.
Awesome. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. That's awesome.
Yes. So great to be with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's so encouraging.
Thank you.
Good. I'm so glad. It's a hope.
Yeah. And homies, we will see you in 2 weeks. We'll be back at 7 p.m. on the 26th.
26th.
Yeah. And Megan's going to lead us through a really fun craft. We will be sending out an email to to sign up, and we will get all your craft supplies to you before then. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions or anything. And we love you guys. We miss you, and we can't wait to see you again in a couple weeks. Take care.
Just one quick question. I saw this was being recorded.
Mhm.
Where can I get the recording to share it with my husband, if you guys don't mind?
We will get it up on our YouTube page, and we will make sure you get the link.
Send a link. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Good
Jenny.
night.
Thank you.
Jamie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks again, Jamie. It was